What does it take to build a personal brand in South Africa in 2026? Today, we're going to be unpacking that, and it gives me a great pleasure and joy to be interviewing one of my biggest friends. And he has had a great career, even on TikTok and in Josie. He left us in Natal, and so please help me welcome Phila Malevu. Hey.
I have a career on TikTok. Hey, Aluiva, okay, career.
How did you get to
career?
Bro, how did you get to have a career on TikTok?
Career. Career ngikala ngawo.
Yeah.
But I'm a random guy on TikTok. That makes more sense to me
Okay.
than
Okay.
a career. But
Okay,
yes,
okay.
sorry, I can never take myself serious. Yes, a career. Yes, yes.
So, how does one build a personal brand?
I don't know how to build a personal brand like that, but I know how to show up as yourself.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah, just show up as the best of yourself. Do the things that you enjoy doing. And then those things will help you figure out how you are best received in the world and how you would like to be received in the world. But I think the first point of call for me is do the things that you love and that you're passionate about. And then that will take you into a direction that you need and that you'll build around that. Because if you ask me what my brand is, it's just me doing things that I really love and that I really enjoy.
Wow.
And that takes you where you want to go, slowly but surely.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if I'm anywhere where I think I will eventually be in my future, but we build slowly but surely.
Sure. And it's quite obvious that you have a voice, online, right? And even outline, not
Oh, okay.
even offline, right?
Yes.
And tell me the first time you got exposed to leadership. What was that like? What was that experience for you?
What do you mean?
It's like
The first time I got exposed to leadership.
Yes, your first memory of leadership.
Okay, I mean, I guess it would be my father, in my home, and he was a great leader of our home, and he was not just our father, but he was leading in his workplace. So he's in our Department of Agriculture, and why agricultural technician. So he used to help a Kalama project for people who's very passionate about helping people. Especially small scale farmers, just helping them start stuff up. Like nje khaya yazi sasinamasi sasiwadla nje abalimi abafufusayo. Uyazi mabi kanjani amasi umlimi ofufusayo. But kuthiwa iwona amasi azodliwa la ekhaya because abalimi bababa.
Bayafufusa.
And uyibuya yena ubuye ethi nawo amasi abalimi babo. Asajabule thina sasavelelwa yila masi. But like that was, so he was at home, he was a leader in his workplace, and he was also a leader at church. So Baba Mshumaili, and he was like a leader because he was so he was taking care of a group of people in a specific place. So I guess my father is probably the first like sort of encounter of somebody leading a group of people to do something.
Sure.
Yeah, that would probably be mine.
And did your love for music develop then? What happened?
My love for music. Oh, let me think about my love for music. I mean, I think I think in church was probably the first time I figured out that I love music. But I think I've just always sang. I think I was one of those singing children, those loud children also. But yeah, I think church was my first, like, okay, listening to music, listening to the songs at church. I was the child and then I joined the choir at church. That was like my first, like, okay, choir experience and stuff like that. Then that grew into then just writing music in high school. I think I wrote my first song in like grade 9.
Do you still remember it?
I do.
Let's see.
The one I wrote in grade 9, it was an LO project.
Yeah.
So we had to write about different values, and we were given acceptance. Acceptance was our value. And I wrote the song with Lerato Mjalia. Lerato! So it goes, acceptance is the key. Acceptance sets you free. It is the foundation of a friendship so deep. Acceptance is the key. Acceptance sets you free. It is the foundation of a friendship so deep.
Foundation. Wow, wow. And
Yeah.
but what inspired it? Because it seems like it's even relevant even now. Wuti, you need to learn to accept certain situations that happen in life in
Sure.
order for you to progress. You know,
Sure.
and you've had to deal with Wuti, your brother passing away, then your dad passing away.
Sure.
Then how did you wrestle with that to come to a place of acceptance?
Ooh, okay, how do we go from my high school song to my dead dad and brother? Wow, Sarah, that's swift.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's acceptance, bro.
I guess, right? I think at this point in my life, I've figured out that, let me shola my words before I say them. But I think I figured out that as big as death is, I don't think that it is the end, right? I think a lot of us process death as finality, right? But I've come to figure out that death is not the final, it's an event. It's a thing that happened. But it's not the finality, right? My brother's existence, my father's existence lives in me as me. I have their experiences. I have the things we shared with them. I have the home we used to live in. I have the mother we used to share. So, in a way, I still have my father and my brother because in my relationship with them, I still have the things that we used to have together, right? So, and also, they live in eternity, however you want to describe it, right? And so for me, it's not a finality, is what I've come to figure out now. Which it's not a finality. There is still, if heaven is now, then they're somewhere now.
Sure.
Do you understand? And so they're alive somewhere. Might not be in the plane I'm able to access them in, but they're alive somewhere.
Sure.
And how they're alive here is that I still draw on my father's knowledge. I still draw on the love of my brother, and I don't restrict it.
Sure.
And I don't focus it into when I think of my father.
Hey,
And then that becomes the focal point of how I love my dad. Is the focal point is the end of my dad. That's not the end of my dad. My dad lives on. And when I remember him, I remember all of him. I remember the man who lived. I remember the man always masi late, on time. I remember the whole man and not the death.
Sure.
And so I think acceptance comes from realizing, especially if we call ourselves Christians, that the one day is the one day, So we don't need to then focus on the death. But it is a thing, right? I'm not saying people mustn't mourn and cry about the thing. It is, but it is an event that we can refer to, have feelings on, but it isn't the pinnacle of their existence.
Sure. And then how did you get into this conclusion of Uguti? It's an event because you also experience the stage of grief.
Sure. Okay, I think with my brother, the realization was that because my brother was shot and it was painful and there was a lot of drama around it, So there was a time, where you were Kala and you're just like, yo, Lord, why didn't you take me? It's like, that's weird. Why do you want to die? Like, that's weird. So you want to die too? Why? Like, what are you doing? And also the thought of it's not just a weird thought, but I think if I died, right, and I met my brother wherever I'd meet him, and he's like, so how did you die? I died because you died. That's a useless meeting. What are you doing here?
Death.
Right? So
Yep.
I figured with my brother that I think sometimes we think paying homage to the people who we've lost is like suffering
Sure.
because they're gone. But I actually figured out that paying homage to them is living well because they're gone and because of the things they taught us.
Yo.
So with my brother, I realized I think he'd be proud of me if I lived well. Like if I passed on and then he said, "So what happened?" And I say, "You'll never guess." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of me saying, "Well, after you died, I just died out and I was..." That's not a thing. That's not a thing that I owe him. I owe him to live well and to say, "You inspired me. Your life inspired me. Your children inspired me." You know? And so that was my first like realization. Then with my dad, Baba Mncane said something very interesting, and I wrote a song about that as well. So Baba Mncane said, "Ubaba wenu akashonile ushintshe isimo." And I was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense to me. That makes sense to me. That lands well for me." Is that he's just changed form.
Sure.
Whether I have access to him or not, he exists somewhere. But it's not a finality. It's not.
Sure.
It's not delete.
Influence is no longer built in boardrooms or meeting rooms. Now it's built in your voice. At A46 Tech Studios, we make podcasting so simple, polished, and professional. No need to stress about technical stuff or learn about equipment. Only just your voice, your story, and your impact. Whether you're a CEO, a coach, a change maker, or a content creator, this is your moment. 2026 belongs to the voices that prepare now. Click the link below to join our waitlist.
So I think that's basically the journey I've walked
Sure.
with the
Sure.
people that I've lost in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, bro. And you come from a small town, Escort.
I do. Mjenzo komfaneni Nkosi yami kwankomo zikhiqiza upolish.
Nkosi yami.
Nkosi yami.
So how does a man from a small town like Escort ends up in Joburg and ends up being influential in the spaces he occupies?
I don't know. Yes. I mean, I'm still the guy from MJ's.
Sure.
Yes. I really don't. I don't know how to answer that question, except I think I've always been a teachable soul. I've always yearned or leaned into just being a helpful individual in every space that I'm in, and learning that in every space I exist in, be helpful. And maybe that's the preacher's kid in me, who had to be helpful because, you know, there's people around the house. You have to give up your bed
Yeah.
when umuntu efile, see something's going on,
Sure.
or whatever it is. But I think I've always just geared my life around being helpful in every room that I'm in, and trying to be helpful in every room that I'm in.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, I don't think I've ever had a picture of being influential. Like when you ask me how are you influential, I'm like, hey, betula,
Yeah,
influential lapi, you
Yeah.
know. I just try to live my life in a way
That's great.
and express myself in the best way that I can be, and express my talents in the best way that I can be. Try to find my purpose in the best way that
Sure.
I can be. Love the people around me in the best way that I can be.
Wow. Yesterday, bro, we were at church and you walked around UKZN Pietermaritzburg.
Oh,
And tell me what does UKZN remind you of?
hey, sasisayithanda-ke inkosi ngaleso insuku. Oh, ngusithinte ngosibuni manje.
Yeah.
I'm a youth, man. I think when I'm around Maritzburg, I'm always like, I had a really great formation time. Just becoming myself. Because I think I always tell people, if you've ever seen me sing, and you think it's nice, you've seen absolutely nothing.
Sure.
The best years, my best singing was done here in
Sure.
Maritzburg. My best singing was done in my youth. The best worship I've ever led in my life. My best memories are here in my youth. So I think it just reminds me of a time where I was forming as a young man, figuring myself out, figuring out this thing of what is it to love the Lord?
Yeah.
What does it look like? What's also figuring my life out? What do I like? I mean, I was studying law, for heaven's sake, which I hated. Which I absolutely hated, you know, but I did, and it helped me somewhere. Now I'm figuring out, okay, now that I'm in specific places. I mean, today I was having a policy meeting and I was like, Right.
Then it clicks.
Right. Okay. This
Sure.
is why I went through all those years of pain, because I'm here now writing policies for companies, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
That's
This is
cool.
why I did that thing.
Yeah.
Even though at the time I really hated it. So a lot of formation, a lot of just raw passion, a lot of mistakes and stupidness, which is necessary in your youth.
Yeah.
So it's a very fond memory for me
Oh, that's
to
cool.
walk around Maritzburg.
That's cool. And what are some of the challenging things you've had to go through as you've been growing in your leadership journey?
Growing in leadership, I think you need to, off the top of my head, so many
Yeah.
lessons. But I think the biggest one is let people journey, man. You can only help people as much as they want to help themselves. It's very important that you help people. This is where the saying comes from that says God helps those who help themselves. Although it's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
But you can only, loving someone beyond what they love of themselves
Ooh.
it's not godly. You're not doing anything to help them. You can only help a person that wants to help themselves at a certain degree. You can only see a person to the degree that they see themselves. So I've learned to be able to love people where they are and not beyond, not where I see what I see for them, right? And it's good to dream on behalf of people, but when it comes to now the action of actually leading them into what they want, you need to figure out where they are and go from where they are to where they want to be.
Sure.
And go from there. So I let people journey, and that life is a journey. I've also learned to not be serious about everything. I tell you that all the time, that it's not too serious.
Yep.
The only life and death matters are actual death.
Yeah.
Seriously. So everything else, it's it's so sad that when people eventually die, then you say big speeches about them, and you everything that irritated you about them is now funny. And
Yeah.
yes, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, when you pull Zabanja. Now it's cute.
Now it's
that
cute,
they're
yeah,
dead,
yeah.
right? But when you were alive, you've spent time being frustrated at them. So just let people be. Love people well, but just let them be. Let them
Sure.
journey. No, not everyone's journey is the same, so let them journey.
Yeah.
I've also learned that leadership is. I think that everybody feels lonely, and so leadership is lonely. But everybody's lonely.
Sure.
So it's not, don't be special about it. Don't be special about your loneliness, because everybody's lonely. But
Sure.
it is a very lonely journey.
Yep. Hence, we need each other.
We do. We do need each other.
Sure.
It needs vulnerability and honesty. I think that's my favorite kind of leadership. I lead with honesty and vulnerability. So that's why I say to you, uting influential, because then we talk in the truth of what's happening,
Sure.
right? Than me pretending like I understand what you're saying when you say that I'm influential.
Sure.
So I love leading in truth. I love leading in honesty and vulnerability. I struggle with it, but I try my best to do that.
Wow. Speaking about not leading alone or not developing alone, who are some of the key people that have played a key role in raising you, in forming your leadership journey? And what did they do specifically?
Interesting. That is a very interesting
Mom
question.
talent should be there.
Oh, my mom. I don't know. I think I learned. My mom teaches me to be tough.
Yeah.
That's what my mom teaches me. Who has taught me? I think there's a lot of people in Jala, but I think I do. I as much as I've had mentors, I also have mentors in the people that I watch and the people that are around me. I learn from you. I learn from the people around me mostly. I think I can't say Usman Bani was the person that taught me this, but I learned from the people around me. I learned from the people that I watch.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I like this. I like this about your leadership. I like this about your leadership. I like that about your leadership. But I generally just learn from the people around me.
Yep.
But I don't think I have a single person I can be like, this person, you are everything. But I learn from my friends. I learn from my family. I learn from my father. I learn from the people around me.
When you started content, did you think you were going to be where you are right now? Or was it just therapy for you?
I thought nothing when I started content.
Love it.
I literally was going through the worst year of my life. And I was just, my therapist suggested it. My therapist was like, get on TikTok, make content. Like, stop thinking about the thing that's depressing you and go do something. Go do something outside of this. Go and post on TikTok.
Sure.
So I was like, cool, I'll go and post on TikTok. And I felt like this took hours because in the beginning, I used to do skating, editing, dance. I used to do, but it wasn't for anything. I was just doing stuff.
Sure.
For life. For me, to distract myself and think of another thing outside of inking and nas.
Sure.
That's all it was.
And then when did you notice the change of interest, and now you were starting to have a following, and did that affect the type of content that you made now for you to change to a certain style?
Yeah. Okay. So I think then I remember the video where like it sort of got like traction. And I was like, and it was just a video lang on Zulu, and I just said something funny, and then that was it. And I was like, oh, people like that.
Was it funny to you?
So let me tell you,
Yeah.
everything I think is extremely funny.
Yeah.
People just don't think it's funny. I think I have your sense of humor. So stuff that I think, oh, this is gonna work, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Stuff that I don't care about.
Sure. Boom. Wow.
So no, like I didn't. So then so this is why I put everything out there. I talk about the things that come to my mind. I talk about current topics. I talk about TV shows. I do everything
Sure.
that I feel like doing because I never know what's going to work or what doesn't work. Sure, it made me more comfortable because I don't like editing, and I don't like making too much effort. So it showed me, people like anything anyway. So I don't have to, I don't have to do too much.
Sure.
So this is me, and people like that. So let me go for that. So it did make me comfortable in like, okay, I can just chill. But even then, I wasn't like trying to then get followers and I was just like, this is acceptable here. And so I do everything. I sing, I don't sing, I take vlogs when I want to take vlogs, whatever.
But it also emphasizes, or it strengthens this thing of personal brand, that people do not follow you because of certain content, but they follow you because of you and you being real and you being more relatable to their stories and to their lives and stuff.
Sure. I can tell you for me, what branding stands for is the story. What am I hearing?
Sure.
When I see Jaga's podcast, Kambe, what am I hearing? I'm hearing about leadership. Okay, cool. When I think about Woolworths, I think about good service and good food. So for me, branding is always a story. So I think people have managed to figure me out and hear the story of who I am and the story of what I believe in and the story of what makes me me, right? Which is what they buy into. They buy into that, the story of that guy. So even though Ingabe mix masala, the story is still that guy.
Sure.
The story is still that guy.
That's amazing.
Who's funny, who who cares about mental health, who cares about young people, who like the story is still in that direction, even though it plays out differently. But there is a common thread, there is a common story that I think everyone can attach to everything that they call a brand.
Yo, that's powerful. And
Glory.
Yeah, serious. Because this one time he walks on water, this other time he's chatting with those guys that are fishing. This other time he's in the temple.
Sure.
This other time he's speaking to the Pharisees.
Sure.
This other time he's speaking to a taxman.
Sure.
Okade robha abantu. This other time he's speaking to a woman who has had an issue of blood.
Absolutely.
People who were outcast, he included them.
Yeah.
And then he would go to the cross ultimately. But it was just one thread of the love story
Exactly.
of God to rescue humans.
Exactly.
That is so powerful, bruh. And who are some of your favorite?
You asked me this. I don't like this question.
Like, no, just on top of
Don't
just-
like this question.
just on
you
top of your
asked me
head.
this in the deleted podcast, which I was like, thank you, Jesus, that this
Yeah.
is deleted.
It was a
Influence is no longer built in boardrooms or meeting rooms. Now it's built in your voice. At A46 Tech Studios, we make podcasting so simple, polished, and professional. No need to stress about technical stuff or learn about equipment. Only just your voice, your story, and your impact. Whether you're a CEO, a coach, a change maker, or a content creator, this is your moment. 2026 belongs to the voices that prepare now. Click the link below to join our waitlist.
deleted podcast, so we confess. Yeah. So, but who do you watch?
Oh my gosh, this is such a difficult question. I wish my phone was here so we could literally go and see what my phone has.
Yeah.
But I enjoy hearing stories. So, of course, my favorite Ndibuo straight from my inbox to you. I love it when people tell stories.
Yeah. Uxoxa indaba.
Uxoxa nje indaba. Mina ke ngiyazithandela-ke nje indaba, ngiyathanda ukubabaza ngithi wow.
Yeah.
I like those sorts of things. I like informative things. So I love both Darren Camper. I do, and then I do like things that are just like funny. So Marata I love, they take your mind off of stuff.
Sure.
MDM skits also is really good.
Yeah. Definitely, this is not our last podcast. Please write them, write them in the comments below, and we'd love to connect with you, and we'd love to know what you'd like to know about my dear friend. And thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, keep hustling, keep moving. Danko, subscribe. Danko. Thank you.
Goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
Alfie, obviously, Bo Dudley, love those guys. Bo Ndile. Ndile's
Yes.
for my hood, actually, is for Miss Corty.
Wow, didn't know that.
So, yeah, Ndile's for my hood. Who else? Like, see, this is why we need my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't like this question. Because now people are excluded and they're like, why didn't you mention me?
No, it was on top of
No.
your head, bruh.
Yes.
But that's really cool, bruh. We really appreciate the way that you lead your life, the way that you. How many projects do you work on? Like 6, 7, at the same time, and that's like that requires crazy capacity. If there was one thing that you'd like to be remembered by on Earth, what would it be?
Sure. Funny enough, I always ask my class this question. The question I start with whenever I teach, I'm like, what's the feeling you want people to remember you by?
Yeah.
I think for me, I'd like for people to have the feeling of being empowered. I think that's my life's project. My life's project is to empower everyone I meet, to cause them to understand that there's something in them that can help out where they are.
Sure.
And that can be better than where they are. And also just that you're fine. I think we spend a lot of time being told something's wrong, but you're fine. Wherever you are, you're fine, and you will get to wherever you need to get to. So I think for me, the biggest feeling I'd love to live, like when people remember me, they must remember the uplifting, the up I felt when I met that guy. There's a thing.
Sure. That's really encouraging. And greater is He that is in you than the one that is in the world. Yeah, but thank you so much for your time. We feel really uplifted. And if you've got any questions for Phila, definitely this is not our last podcast. Please write them Write them in the comments below, and we'd love to connect with you, and we'd love to know what you'd like to know about my dear friend. And thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, keep hustling, keep moving. Danko, subscribe. Danko. Thank you.